In a game world called Planet, two players hunt down a powerful red dragon, wanting to secure its abilities for themselves. Unfortunately, the dragon flies towards Twilight Hill, the home of the KaKuNime family, four of the strongest players in this world. Just as the dragon approaches Twilight Hill, Ichi, one of the four players being talked about, comes out of the house. On seeing the dragon, he immediately springs up in the air and, unsheathing his sword, he beheads the dragon. Meanwhile, the two players from earlier get scared when they see Ichi. This is because everyone believes they are scary, and they would kill anyone that approaches the Twilight Hill. Surprisingly, Ichi completely ignores them, and takes a look at the stats he has acquired from the dragon kill. While he does this, one of the two players gets angry that he would steal their kill. He threatens to get the loot back from Ichi, but his partner begs him to leave it, as Ichi has been rumored to kill players. Even with this information, he insists on asking Ichi for the loot. Ichi, on the other hand, threatens to kill him if he insists on taking the loot, but he remains fearless. Just then, Ichi demands that they follow him into Twilight Hill to meet the leader of the KaKuNime family, Shiro, who would make the decision to determine if he should give them the dragon loot. While they approach the house, the two players seem scared, but are determined to get their loot no matter what. Contrary to what they had been told about the KaKuNime family, the family seems pretty normal.
What?
They get to meet Mei, who spends her time cooking and cleaning. She immediately heals them after seeing how injured they are. AA, who is surprisingly friendly, spends his time playing video games in a video game. Weird, right? While being amazed at this, Shiro arrives. At first he looks very scary, but after being told about the incident, he instructs Ichi to give the players the loot. On hearing this, the players are excited, and they thank him for this. In the real world, Ichi's name is Taichiro, a hopeless and pretty irresponsible young man. He has a more responsible younger brother, Asuma, and a look-alike for a father, who he hates. Since the real world has nothing good to offer him, he immediately rushes back into the game world. In the absence of Shiro, they receive a declaration of war from the pirates, and this gets Ichi pumped up and ready to fight. Just then, Mei informs them that Shiro would not be coming to the game world for a while since he is sick. While still processing this news, they get attacked by a flying pirate ship. Fortunately, Ichi leaps up in the air and takes it down with his Wave of Swords ultimate attack. Back in the real world, Ichi gets told that his father has been hospitalized. This doesn't seem to bother him as much as the vice captain of the pirates who beats up the pirates who attack Twilight Hill. However, the captain of the pirates, Pico, isn't bothered about this. She believes that war with the KaKuNime family is necessary to achieve their goal of getting the Black Bird, a prized asset rumored to be worth around 300 million yen. This Black Bird was last seen in Twilight Hill, and securing it would give them the power to expand their reach in Planet. That night, Taichiro is once again informed by his brother that his father would be staying at the hospital for a while. In a shocking turn of events, as Taichiro heads back into the game world, his father puts on a headset similar to the gamers, and is transported to the game world, where he is revealed to be Shiro. On Shiro's return, he sees the declaration of war by the pirates. Ichi believes that they should waste no time in going to war with the pirates, but Shiro suggests going to meet the pirates to negotiate a way out. When they arrive at the hideout of the pirates, they see a large number of them waiting right above the walls. Ichi feels skeptical about going in, but Shiro insists that they do. When they get the chance to meet the captain of the pirates, Pico, Ichi asks to be allowed to wait outside. When they meet with Pico, they offer her parts of their land and dungeons in exchange for peace. However, Pico insists that she only wants Twilight Hill, their homeland. This is so she can gain access to the Blackbird. With this option non-negotiable, they ask for another. This time, she demands that they hand Ichi over.
Yeah, boy.
Apparently, she liked Ichi a lot since they were friends some years back. Ichi hears this while waiting outside and charges into the room. This happens to be the reason why he was skeptical about meeting the captain of the pirates. He bluntly states that he would not be joining them, but Pico states this as the only option she would consider to stop the war. With no other choice, Shiro launches an attack on them using his explosive fist. With this, he accepts their declaration of war, informing Pico that Ichi is now a member of his family, which he is not willing to let go of. With their acceptance of this declaration, Shiro suggests setting up a huge barrier around Twilight Hill. Just before they are able to set it up, they get attacked by some low-level pirates, and Shiro easily takes them out. Later that day, the president of Granada Company, Leon, goes to meet with Pico, hoping to convince her against going to war with the Akabane family. However, he meets his demise as Pico ends up cutting off his head. This time, she is more than ready to attack Twilight Hill. Back in Twilight Hill, Ichi takes a look at the ruins and finds a black feather amongst the rubble. Shiro recognizes this as the feather of the black bird. In that moment, a huge creature reveals itself, shocking them to their bones.
What?
Seeing this creature, they begin to wonder if it is the headless red dragon or the black bird. There, Adae teases Ichi that the creature is there to hunt him after he defeated it earlier. However, seeing the creature walking towards them, Shiro recognizes that the blackbird is using its corpse as a vessel and calls for them to start the fight. At that moment, Aya puts their protection on, which Ichi doesn't find necessary, as he launches his wave of swords to attack the bird, but it has no effect. Suddenly it begins to create wind with its wings, which they find very strong. During this, they believe the creature isn't a normal headless dragon because of its strength. At that moment, Shiro comes forward to protect them and suddenly launches himself to above the creature to attack it with his explosive fist. Again, to their surprise, Shiro's power has no effect on the creature as well. At that moment, Aya calls the boys' attention to the pirate ships in the sky, where Pico orders for the cannons to be launched at them. Luckily, the barrier created saved them, but Pico gets very angry and orders for them to attack. But Shigatera tells her to let them exercise patience a bit and see how things turn out between the Akabane family and the creature. However, they decide to stop the attack, which surprises the Akanabes. There, Ichi asks Shiro if there is a relationship between the red dragon and the blackbird, but Shiro tells him they can't know until they kill him. To do this, Shiro asks for Ichi's sword to be strengthened, while he uses his explosive fist as they launch themselves towards the creature, piercing through it. Unfortunately, this does not have much effect on the creature, as it proceeds towards Aa and Aya to smash them to the ground. Instead, Aa pushes Aya away and gets stepped on instead, leading to his death. Meanwhile, in reality, Asuma collapses in his room after the headset he has on Spark, which Taichiro hears but doesn't pay attention to. In the game, Leon, who is also in a ship with Sasumata, sees Adae smashed by the creature. He states that Adae's life is in danger if the creature happens to be the blackbird, the final executor. Meanwhile, Shiro suddenly realizes that the creature is the blackbird and orders for Ichi and Aya to log out immediately, as well as him. Having logged out, Taichiro hears Asuma call his name, and after getting to his brother's room after several years, he finds him partially unconscious on the ground. There, Taichiro sees the game system in Asuma's room, which makes him believe he is Adae. However, Asuma is taken to the hospital in an ambulance, where the doctor assures Taichiro that Asuma will be fine. Shortly after, in the hospital room, Asuma calls out to Taichiro, who is with him. Hearing his brother's voice, Taichiro bursts out in tears, telling him how worried he is, which Asuma apologizes for. However, Taichiro asks about the game he saw in his room, but Asuma tells him he doesn't enjoy playing an unrealistic world game. Hearing this, Taichiro asks why he is playing the game then, only for Asuma to tell him he is looking for a friend whom he wants to bring back to reality. However, Taichiro thinks within himself that Asuma must not find out he is Ichi, and hopes he doesn't find out later as he runs out of the hospital. Moments later, the doctor visited Asuma to ask some questions concerning the game headset he had on. There, he tells the doctor to ask his father about the headset because might be one of the headset developers because he created the game, Planet. On his way, Taichiro thinks of the possibility that Asuma will leave Planet if he finds out he is Ichi, which will bring down the Akabane family down to 3. Because he doesn't want the family to scatter, Taichiro decides to log in by himself, find the blackbird, and forget about reality as he runs him to do that. At home, he realizes his account has been hacked, which hinders him from logging in. At that moment, he remembers how his father teaches him how to operate a computer, which makes him take over his computer back, but needs a password to log into the program. Meanwhile, when he was young, he told his father to teach him how to operate a computer, which he did by putting him through. During this, Aya brings him tea, which mistakenly spills on the computer desk, leading to their fathers pushing Aya to the ground until their mother comes to take her. However, his father tells him about Planet and the program code, which is Hello World. Remembering this, Taichiro decides to use another similar code, Fuck You World, which log him into the game.